Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our, she's letting me know we're ready. And welcome to our August 7th Bedford Board of Education work session meeting. If we could, first, we're going to do our assign of our treasurer pro temp. We're going to do the assign of pro temp because that's thank you. As board president, I propose that we assign Anthony Akins to the role for tonight's meeting in the treasurer's absence. Could the board please confirm if there is a consensus on selecting Anthony Akins for this role? Call each member by name for a response. A simple yes or no will suffice. Upon receiving affirmative response, I will go ahead and let him know he's it.
Ms. Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Thank you, each member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we are going to move on to our roll call.
Ms. Carter?
Here.
Ms. Macklin?
Here.
Mr. Akins?
Here.
Mrs. Turner Birch? Ms. Boynton?
Here. Thank you, board. Next is our Pledge of Allegiance. If we can stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Good evening again, everyone. It's good to see many faces here. We're going to move to 2.01 is our acknowledgement of goals. Please read those at your leisure. 3.01 is the approval of minutes from July 10th, 2025, our regular meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 10th, 2025?
Motion to approve.
Second. It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the minutes from the July 10th, 2025 regular meeting. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now moving to awards, presentations, and communications. 4.01 is awarding of diplomas. We have awarding to the following individuals who have met the requirements for graduation as adopted by the Bedford Board of Education and the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. I'm going to actually let Dr. You want to read the names for me? If you don't mind.
Good evening, Board President, Vice President, and Board members. The awarding of diplomas this evening are for Charles Anthony Lloyd, Javon James Richards, Jocelyn Rochelle White, and Sean Anthony Kai Wiggins.
So I just wanted to make sure that we clap those students up. Do we have one? No, we don't have any. I know that unfortunately we wouldn't have any of those students, but I wanted to make sure that those names were read off this evening. So let's definitely make sure that we congratulate them when we see them.
And I would just like to also just, if possible, just give recognition, extra recognition for these students because they continue beyond after the school year was over to meet these requirements. Also, a lot of thanks goes to Mr. Johnson and the Excel Academy staff for all their support in assisting the students.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we have 4.02, our AVI introduction and presentation. So we will have a presentation by AVI. We can have you come on up.
Oh, one of the students is here.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us just 1 second? Yes, we were, and I do apologize. Do you mind, Mr. So So 1 second, because we're gonna make this official for you, so if you wanna go back and have a seat.
I apologize.
And, let's see. Yes, we'll have to make sure, we're gonna actually hand deliver this to you, because they did communicate that we weren't gonna have any, but if you, I know it's been a while since you've been a high school principal, but we need you to kinda go through the. Yes, I
As
do.
much as you can.
Good evening, Board President Carter, board members, thank you very much. On behalf of the state of Ohio, we would like to recognize and confer the graduation of, I don't have the student's name, I apologize,
James Richard.
Javon James Richards, on behalf of Bedford City Schools.
Come on up. Stand up. You can stand up.
All right. And so we'll definitely make sure that we give you your actual one, but I do wanna make sure we give you the jacket. Cause you'll need this.
Yes, there we go.
And we'll make sure that we hand deliver you.
Yours. We'll make sure we have yours. And again, I apologize. I was like, they told me you were going.
Okay,
But
so,
it's a pleasure to see you.
so make sure you turn around. Oh, if you wanna turn around, so we can get it.
Hold your diploma up, hold it up so we see it. Hold on, we're gonna get one with Dad
Hold on
too.
1 second, we wanna get one with
Wanna
a
get one
parent
with-
or guardian.
Get one with your,
Parent
is this
guardian.
your parent guardian
Someone
with you?
Anybody with you?
Yeah, let's get a picture. He's sitting up.
Yes.
Want to get a picture with you? Yes. Come on up. He's like, who, me?
You wanna share? So I don't think they could hear who you stated was with you.
Who's more daring?
Make sure. And one more time, if you wanna come around, and each of the board members will typically shakes the students' hands. You can come this way.
Yeah, come through. Come up front. There you go.
Thank you so much, and congratulations again. And Dad, that is his jacket. So we'll make sure, I don't know if you'll be around tomorrow, but we make sure that we hand deliver the official seal of diploma to you at your home tomorrow, if that's okay? Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we're on to AVI.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Garvin. I'm the Vice President for the Schools Division for AVI Food Systems. I gotta start off my team members I'm gonna introduce here in a minute, but just real quickly, a little bit about AVI. We're actually the largest privately owned food service contract company in the country, and we're the only Ohio-based one. We're based out of Warren, Ohio, so we're a mere 50 minutes from Bedford City Schools. So when this opportunity came up, we were excited. We have a couple of our key players that are actually residents of Bedford, so that's even more super great for us. So, real quick, we're gonna do quick introductions. Go ahead, Joe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jody Havert. I'm the regional director. I work for Chris, and I've been with AVI for about a year and a half now. I've been in food service for a long time, since I graduated college, but in K-12 nutrition for about 20 years. I am an avid runner, hike, bike, garden. I hang out with my dogs. I would say that K-12 nutrition is definitely my passion. I love a healthy lifestyle, and nothing makes me more proud than bringing it into our school system. So looking forward to partnering with you guys and bringing the ABI Fresh experience to you guys. So next is Jen.
Oh.
Yeah, well, Miranda.
Hello, there we go. My name is Jennifer Hain, and I've been in food service over 30 years, and back in the day, I have to tell you a quick story. Is my aunt lived right next door, and she was the loving caregiver, and she was the lead cook. And when I went on to be a dietitian, I really wanted to work in school lunch. So every day I lived the life that I wanted to actually seek and do. So I am the district manager. I oversee many districts in this area. I am local to Cleveland, so I'm about 30 minutes away. I get the privilege of being, part of this, and really excited to get to know everyone. And here's Miranda.
Hi, I'm Miranda. I am AVI's dietitian in the K-12 division. So I just offer any support to the district and to our resident director, Rashawn here, nutrition-wise. So anything that you guys need to talk to parents, students, staff, any wellness fairs, activities that you want to do, you can call me up. I am a Bedford resident, so I live only 2 minutes away from the high school, so I can be here in no time, and I'm happy to be on board.
Hello, my name is Rashawn McDougall. I am your resident director. I will be your daily contact for everything in the district as far as K-12 food. I also have been in food service for a very long time. I actually came from healthcare, so being in K-12 actually translated good. So I've been doing K-12 for about 2.5 years, and I'm also a current resident, and I also have a niece and nephew in the district, so I have roots here. So I'm happy to be here and excited to work with you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ross West. I'm your executive chef, born and raised in Cleveland, grew up in Collinwood. I understand you guys are all the CEP program, so everyone eats free. I was also that student, so it's great to come full circle and be able to serve that community now. And thank you.
I'll get that.
Okay, so we're gonna move on for, talk about, we have several slides. We know we're on a time strain. We know it's a busy meeting, so, but once again, we just appreciate the ability to get up and introduce ourselves. So where am I? Okay, so real quick on transition, that's why we wanted to bring our people in. I think behind any successful transition is two things: people and communication. So we are so lucky to have Ray, who lives in the district. She's one of like I said, when the position, and we said we were going to go after it. Typically, we don't have someone. You know what I mean? We might get an account and we have to go find. But when we found Ray was interested, it was great. Once again, the fact that she's so close just adds to it, because the ability to do that. And the other thing I want to make sure everyone understands is several of our districts we have now are just like this, where Ray and Ross will work for AVI in a leadership position, but the employees are still district employees. And so sometimes people fret about that. Please don't do it. It will be seamless, I promise. It's, once again, communicating with them on expectations and how we do our program and whatnot. But we have several of our local schools where we have that relationship. Myself, Jody, and Jennifer have been experienced in that for over 20 years with dealing with districts that have that. Ray's last spot was in West Geauga, where she had that same situation. The employees all worked for West G, and Ray was the only AVI. So I know that sometimes that's a big question mark on how that's going to be, but you have our commitment from a standpoint of communicating. And once again, that's on us, and that's why we have so many people involved in this. Some people are like, wow, why'd you bring so many people? But trust me, they're all going to be involved, and we're fortunate they are also local. So we're really so happy about that. Good.
Also, if I may add to that, this transition from being a self-operated school to food service management company school, it's confusing for everybody. Like, how's this gonna work? And the staff, especially in this situation where it's not ABI employees, it's district employees. And, with this team right here, we are 100% dedicated to doing what we need to do and supporting, this entire transition. I personally live in Cincinnati. I'm gonna spend a lot of time up here. to help with this, but we are definitely committed to ensuring this goes as seamless as we possibly can. We're willing to work through all the bumps in the road and everything, and just keep a positive attitude and ensure that all the students at Bedford are fed. We're really excited to get going, so looking forward to it. That being said, I'm going to pass this off to Miranda.
Okay, so these are our concepts for the schools. We'll start with elementary, and our elementary school gets the signature, which it's just a lot easier for them to have that one choice and then one or two alternate options. Your signature has the entire entree, the fruit, vegetable, grain, meat, and milk on the tray for them. When you come to the middle school, we start to introduce some more concepts to give them a little bit more of a choice. So our homestead is kind of like the signature, just like your main entree for the day. Trattoria will be our pizza station with a variety of different pizzas throughout the week. Stacked is like a deli concept, and then the NutriBar is our produce bar. And then at the high school, let me come down a little bit. The high school, we have those same concepts, and then we introduce the gallery, which is just a rotating concept for students to get more variety. Agave is probably our most popular, so if the students really take to that, we can make that a permanent concept, and that's like build your own burrito bowls, nachos, stuff like that. Our Chicks concept is a variety of different kinds of chicken and different kinds of french fries, just to give them a familiar option every day in addition to everything else. Miso is like Asian cuisine, and then our flats is different kinds of pizzas and flatbreads as well. So we did pass out a sample menu for you guys to take a look for elementary and then high school. And middle school will be a little bit similar to the high school as well. Did I go down? Yes. In addition to those concepts, we have our Fresh to Go program. And our Fresh to Go program is awesome because it is an option for students that maybe don't want something hot that day. They can go into the Fresh to Go cooler and grab any concepts or any of the boxes, subs, salads, stuff like that that they want. They're ready to go. So we did bring some samples for you today. This is more of like an elementary school focus to give them a little pinwheel. It's a complete meal, so they could just walk in, grab that, and it's a walking meal because it has that fruit vegetable component and then the grain and the meat. We're really fortunate to have Ross on board because he brings all of those culinary experiences into the NSLP program. And additionally, we brought some maple pumpkin bites. So these maple pumpkin bites are homemade and a great option for breakfast for the students. So we like to make a lot of homemade products for breakfast so that we can, one, control the sugar content for the students, and then two, just give them variety from what they're already getting. Because everyone sees like Pop-Tarts and cereal daily, but if we can incorporate some homemade items as well, it just gives them more interaction at breakfast and hopefully increase participation. And then we like to bring in some marketing concepts and how we can communicate all of these new things to the students. So we have some signage that we are starting to hang up already. Our marketing department has already been out to get the measurements and get signs hung up so the students know where each concept is. Our cafe celebrations, food story campaign, and foodie friends are just ways that students can interact more in the cafeteria. Cafe celebrations is cool. We kind of like here there's grilled cheese month, so we do all that work of like what special day is coming up and how can we utilize any products that we have, maybe a commodity item that we have extra of, and give that to the students in a fun way. One of my favorites is the Iconic Food series. So that is a way that we look into a bunch of different cultures and give students information and literature on those cultures, and we have a meal that day or that week of the Iconic Food series to showcase that culture.
Along with marketing, we also want to engage the students with surveys and feedback. We do QR code surveys just to get some feedback. We will do advisory committees to really center the menu and menu changes around what the students actually want to eat. We are very driven. Our menu should be very driven by student preferences. That will increase participation. And our student promotion influencer, we do want to get a committee together of small students where they can influence their fellow students into buying into the program and giving their voice to the program so we can improve it.
And then, yeah, just touching on student engagement, just getting them involved, getting out, talking to them. What do they want to see, you know? And obviously, like, within NSLP guidelines, what can we give you that you like, you know? What are you guys eating? What are you not eating? I see you have a lot of courtyards here. Maybe there's a community garden in the future, you know? And just stuff like that, you know, getting them in. We got a guest chef program, which he can tell you all about.
Thank you, Ross. So our guest chef program is really kind of a fun event. It gives us an opportunity to work with our colleges that are involved with AVI as well as some of our other schools. I'll use Oberlin for an example as one of my other accounts, and our chef from Richmond Heights went out and spent the day during a school picnic, to visit with that. So we do this a lot. Right now I'm actually working with another one of my schools with Malone College and having them, as the kids go from that school on to college, to work together and have some guest chefs along with their programs. So these are things that we can also implement here at Bedford. We also do internships. So we have 5 $1,000 internships to help with further education. One of the things, and I hope I don't cry, I always get emotional and she laughs at me every single time, is our Rising Chef program. There's nothing more special than to get chef coats on kids at a young age. When I think about my experience growing up, I helped feed the whole community as an elementary kid when it was summer, and I'd help feed the whole neighborhood. So when we look at those core memories, we think of the times when we allow kids to get in the kitchen and cook, because food is really important at this age. So Rising Chefs will give us the opportunity to give a theme out to our students, our 5th graders, and then we'll receive their favorite recipe. And then we would assemble a committee to choose those special 3 to 5 students to go do a very fun competition, think Top Chef. And at the end, there's prizes, and it's an opportunity for us to also expand upon using students to, from that program for the following year to be coaches. In my previous role, I actually did this for a very long time, and I actually had kids that all the way went up to graduates in college that would come back and help the little ones. So this program is very special, near and dear program. Really excited to get this. This is typically a spring event. Other programs that we have is Dining with the Director. There will be times where these two will be out there talking with students. There's no better source of information than to go directly to the source. We want to make this program about the kids, and it needs to evolve with the kids. So that information is extremely crucial. And then, of course, breakfast with the principal. This can be very fun for your principals to come up with how they want this to look like. In my past, we've actually partnered it with fine dining, so teaching kids, different dinner etiquette. I've also used it for celebrating monthly birthdays. So this is a wonderful program for us to evolve with you and bring this program to you.
So just to put a bow on all that, obviously you saw the engagement principles and engagement programs and platforms we're going to do, and it's really all about increasing participation. We want every kid in the district to eat, not just the kids, students, we want the staff to eat as well. So we're going to make sure between Rashawn and Chef Ross, they're going to be out there talking to people, because the program will be fluid. You guys bought us, and we're thankful for that, but at the end of the day, there are going to be some things where we have to change menus, because every school district is a little bit different, but I have all the faith in these two with the support. So, because at the end of the day, the program shouldn't be AVI's program, it should be the students of Bedford City Schools program. And that's what we come with that approach. And so with that, I'm going to open it up for any questions.
I just want to say thank you. This is I'm excited about this. Food looks amazing. I don't have any questions at this particular time. I just wanted to say thank you for presenting all of this to us. I'm really excited about this for our students.
You're welcome. And we look forward, one of the things we like to do, we like to get in front of the board at least once or twice a year to tell, and once again, we'll keep it shorter than this because I know, and a lot of times I'm told, hey, keep it short, but it'll be good, it'll be good program, stuff about what we're doing, specials and, good news and what we're doing and everything. So we like to do that a couple times a year, and we'll make sure we come in with Ray and Chef Ross, and we'll be here with them to support them, so.
It is exciting to see that we do have someone from the district here, so I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah. Two people, really, her
Well,
and
two,
Miranda.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, so, yeah. We were excited about it when we heard that too.
So I don't have a specific question to you all. I do have a question I'll direct to Dr. Johnson. My comment is, I'm just grateful that we are in a space where we are offering good whole food to our students. When it comes to access to food, and it can be a barrier to success, and therefore it takes away from the equity of learning. So I'm just grateful that we are in a space now, after advocating for such, where we are giving great food, and especially where we're somewhat semi in a food desert as well. So they're getting access to the whole foods. My question to Dr. Johnson though, is, will this program take, would they be pretty much the primary individuals who are navigating the food services? Okay.
Thank you, again, for your presentation today. I will tell you, this is something that we've been talking about for quite some time. I think since my first year, one of the things that when Tad came on, he also talked about a similar program and his experiences that he had in Canton. And through our students of excellence, I will tell you, this is the number one topic that comes up, was there displeasure? And I agree with you. Our young individuals have a lot, regardless as to age. The students of excellence consist of kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade students that meet with me quarterly, and they kind of give feedback from safety concerns and how they feel that they can address it, but they're the problem solvers. And one of the things that they kept stating is they wanted fresh food, vegetables. They wanted access to different things. So I also appreciate that. I will tell you the thing, board, that drew us to this company was not only the variety, but also someone on site, but also the familiarity with the district. One of the things that's very important to our board is having individuals with us that know our kids and know our families. So I'm also very appreciative that we have a company that has representation from one of our 4 municipalities. But yes, this will take place of our management side, as they stated. Same budget. I also feel like through that they share with us ways that we can even save and put more money towards better food and more high quality and accessibility to students, because we are basically in a food desert, and the access to the nutritious variety that they presented to us was top notch.
Thank you, and I agree wholeheartedly with all of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want this now. Can't have it now, but I want it now. Thank you.
Just one last thing that, I hope it's okay, board, that I will state, because a lot of times, when some things come forward like this, individuals don't see our interactions and relationship. So I will say, as Mrs. Turnberg, you stated, you did provide some feedback and some concerns, and I don't want people to always feel like, oh, the board just saying yes to Dr. Johnson. Like, this is one of those things where, like, my team and I, we were questioned, and we were held accountable, and the expectations were given. So I just hope that we not only rose, we rose above those expectations. And I appreciate the push, because that keeps us going.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Next, we're gonna have 4.03 GPD updates to our facilities projects. So come on up, Russell, you are on the spot. Hello. Right.
I didn't.
You didn't bring food?
There's a couple leftovers in the back that I can bring up.
You brought a shovel. You didn't get a shovel. You brought a shovel.
You can use it as a spoon. You know. Again, I'm Russell Gayhart, architect with GPD Group, leading the effort on all the new school projects in the campus, and so it's a really exciting time to just provide an update. I think we've tried to come every month or every so often to just provide an update on where we're at with construction or design, and tonight just focused on construction. Chris Montgomery with Panzica will also kind of share some updates on what the look ahead is for the projects. Again, there's a lot happening in the district. When the kids come back in the fall, you're going to see a different shape and feel, and dirt's moving. So all exciting things happening at the existing Heskett site and across the street where the Peter Chanel site was for the new middle school. I'll touch really quickly on the schedule. I've shown this many times, but the line keeps moving. So I just moved this red, and let me go full screen, sorry. The line will still be small, but the red line is moving. Right now we're working on the K2 site and building in 6-8 school. The red line is past that small dot, which was the bidding and construction start, and so we had an opportunity to do a groundbreaking at each one of those sites. You'll see in front of you, you have a small shovel with your name on it. That's kind of just an appreciative gift from GPD to just have on your desk and remind you of the great work that Bedford City Schools is doing to commemorate the groundbreaking of the K2, the 6-8, and the high school. I'll share with you just the image of that groundbreaking, and then I'll also give Dr. Johnson or Ms. Carter the shovel that we're going to have at the board office soon. So I'll give you this.
Aww.
This is a bigger shovel. Don't use this for the food, but just to have that for your future board office.
Yeah, it is.
That is nice, very nice.
No, just you. Okay. But this was a photo from the 6-8 groundbreaking. It happened a couple months ago. Beautiful day. The mayor was there, and just other folks in the community, some staff, some students. It was a great day to do a groundbreaking. We did a similar one at the Bedford Heights campus where the K2 will be constructed. And Chris will provide an update on the construction status for each of those projects.
So just, we'll start with the middle school, so the site plan, as you know, across the street. One of our biggest goals here for the summertime and why we had those early site packages was to try to get all the site work done, get all the trucks in and out. I don't know if anyone was around during the day, but it was a mass amount of trucks getting dirt off of both of the sites. So one of our big accomplishments was trying to get that done before school started, and I think both sites were right there. Middle school, we're past that. The K through 2, we're doing like the last of it here over the next week or two. So again, that was one of our big goals. So for the middle school, we've been working on foundations for the last few weeks as well. So we're starting with the concrete foundations. How we're building the building is actually going around kind of and doing it by zone. So you kind of see like the 3 blocks. So we're trying to work through, and we'll do foundations through the first section, and then we'll be following through with doing the masonry and starting to get those up. And then we'll be starting to do stuff you won't really see, which is all the underground, like plumbing, all the underground electrical, getting all of that in before we start to put in the concrete slabs and really bringing the walls up. So really for the next month, it's going to be mostly a lot more foundations and starting the masonry and all the kind of the underground stuff you don't see. But for us, that's the exciting part. That's the infrastructure. That's what gets us to the point where the building is going up and everything is in place to make it easier as we go. So we're starting kind of at the bottom section of the building that you see, which is like the gymnasium, the cafeteria, where all the mechanicals are. So we can kind of that's where there's a lot more of the heavy underground and the infrastructure that we need to get to kind of make it a little bit easier as we go through. A few photos, not as exciting, it's really just some dirt moving and some machines. But as you can see, those are the start of the foundations there on the bottom right. Again, photos of the foundations going in. really for us, it's a really important step. You know, getting all the utilities into the site and starting foundations mean that we're getting closer and closer to the building going up. Here's a photo just for the K2. The K2, as you remember, we started about a month behind that, kind of by design, just because of the school time and we're waiting until the school is out to get that started. So we're right now finishing kind of the utilities. We're doing the last of kind of the big excavation. We're actually doing a big detention pond, which is right next to that parking lot on the top, that oval circle there. So we're getting that excavation, which again is a lot of the trucks going in and out of the site, trying to get that out of the way. And again, trying to make sure that when kids come back to school here in a couple weeks, that we're kind of staying in that bottom section of that drive that's coming off of by the houses there. Kind of keeps it to where as much out of the way of the kids as possible. We met with the staff again today to make sure kind of where signage is going, how the transportation is going to be doing, making sure that everyone's on the same page as we start school here in a couple weeks. Kind of the very similar activities, doing a lot of earthwork, getting all of the material out. I think there was 2 or 3 times the amount of dirt coming off of the K-2 site. So it was a huge amount of excavation and dirt coming off of there. It's really cool actually to kind of see a site go from what it was to kind of what it is now with the fields and kind of the elevation changes there. So we'll be starting foundations there here within the next week or 2 as well. And kind of like I said, that month behind, between the 2 sites. The K-2 had a little bit more of the site work because of all that extra dirt that's coming off. But again, we're following kind of right on track to try to get, again, masonry started, the underground started here. That'll be closer to kind of that month from now, right into the, kind of that middle September area of when we'll be kind of starting to see a little bit of that kind of masonry popping out of the ground. Again, a couple more photos. Doesn't really look like much just yet. And this is just a kind of an example of what we share every week with the team of kind of looking at our look-ahead schedule for every 4 weeks. It's really hard to see, and I don't expect you to see it, but just kind of an example, and it's everything that I've talked about between foundations, the masonry, the underground, mechanical or plumbing and electrical that we're doing, and again, just kind of working through there. Any questions on kind of progress or where we're going from here?
Okay, we're gonna jump into the
I have a quick
Oh, yeah.
question. The road the back auxiliary road that goes to Columbus, how's the drainage working for that? Is that all set in place when it was put in?
Yeah, so we'll have like temporary means kind of now. We'll have some kind of, that's what we'll call like our SWIP erosion control plan, which is, there's a during construction plan. So we're maintaining kind of, because it's not a road just yet, it's gravel, so it will drain a lot better than when it's a permanent road. And then we'll have final measures of making sure all the drainage is going. But I think everything, all in all, with all the residents has been going really well. I know our team has gotten to know quite a few of the residents, and we've gone through and we've given flyers, our business cards, trying to make sure that they understand what's going on kind of as we're going. But I think from a drainage standpoint, it's been going pretty well.
And then looking ahead again, so we provided an update on construction.
Just one other thing kind of along those lines, when you talked about the drainage, there was some communication. I think I talked to, Russell about this. Can you talk a little bit about, I know that unfortunately we know your expertise, but the budget for that driveway and the calculations and things of that nature?
We started that process by thinking about site safety first, right? We wanted to separate bus traffic and vehicular traffic on a site that has 2 schools. So that was first opportunity number 1, to kind of isolate those 2 traffics, and then bus traffic being able to serve the K2 and future 3-5, that was really important. Accessing the bus parking could have happened 2 different ways. We took the path of least resistance because it could have went south of Heskett, and we thought, being a good neighbor as the school district is, we wanted to avoid being right next to those houses. And so the district already owned property, a residential lot. So we did survey, we did analytics on the site and geography really to make sure that the site would handle that roadway. The cost of that in consideration of what we could have done behind Heskett, moving a gas line, et cetera, would have been really challenging to do it that way, and making it the most safe we can we had to make it safe. And so by separating that bus and vehicular traffic was priority number one. And this gave us an opportunity to come off of Columbus. The traffic engineers that studied both Columbus and Perkins intersection appreciated that bus traffic was going to be pulled off of Perkins. And then separating that from the municipal building also and exiting from that north side between the municipal building and Heskett was a really big benefit that I think City Council appreciated with the maintenance of that road, et cetera. So I think moving the bus traffic was a really good thing that the district decided to do. This option kind of made it the less impactful from a cost perspective. And then
Actually, when we looked at this project before we even awarded it, we wanted to actually use that as a drive
For
to
construction.
keep traffic away from the school as much as possible during construction. I mean, it's 2 years of construction. We wanted to use that, so I think it also was a benefit to be able to use it for a construction drive and then a permanent drive to save money of not just throwing all of that away.
And then from a design perspective on water and drainage, I mean, we obviously, understand the engineering behind 100-year storms and the fact that they're happening more and more frequently. So we take the 100-year storm per the direction of the city engineer, the city of Bedford Heights. They review that process, and so not only do we plan for a safety factor on that, but we plan for the design code and make sure that we're designing the detention basin to handle stormwater for this new building, the new parking, and new drive, but it's also going to have a below-ground detention where above-ground detention wouldn't work. So we kind of have a combination solution here, and that's built into the budget, that's already designed and already accounted for in the GMP that Panzeca put together.
Could you share with the board, because I know all of this is public record, because we're a public school, the going rate per square footage
Yeah.
actually to do such a project?
Oh, right. Yeah, so maybe Chris could speak to specifics, but I'll be the best I can at remembering the estimate. The cost of asphalt and base course of stone, you're in the neighborhood of $5 to $6 per square foot, and that's based on the estimates received from various subcontractors, estimators, and so we kind of take that number, hard bid it out, and that's what we have designed, and that meets ODOT spec, right? We're not just coming up with an asphalt that might not hold for the length of the building, right? We're creating sustainable designs, a solution that's going to last for the long term. So whatever we do, we're basing it on ODOT spec for roadways and heavy traffic, right? Because this is going to be bus traffic. It's not just vehicular traffic. So that makes the asphalt section deeper, and then it's also based on geotechnical engineers that will test those soils and make sure that the soils are compacted properly. They'll do proof rolls to make sure, I'm speaking for you now, Chris, he's the contractor, that it can handle that weight. They'll make sure of that before they put the base course down and the asphalt top. So, there's a lot of eyes watching these projects. Certainly the architecture and engineers are. There's a construction material testing. The city engineer is involved in all the storm structures as they're tied into the main roadways. So there's a lot of people watching and kind of keeping an eye on this. And all those reports are being sent through TAD mostly, and the architecture engineering and the contractor. Can we go to the high school? Any other questions on? Yeah.
I saw that the fence is kind of like not behind the building, but closer to that side door.
Yeah.
So is that gonna be pushed back and opened up some more so that parking lot?
I'll point if that's okay.
Okay.
So the construction fence is kind of coming from here down,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important because we need to install this detention basin between
Oh,
existing
gotcha.
parking and new. So this line is important, and then we wanted to put the dark lines are the new path around here, and it joins the building right here, and that right here is important because there's an exit door.
Yes.
So, and I think the special ed.
It's a resource room right there, and they
Yes.
tend to use that room.
So there's a
use that
sidewalk
door.
for emergency exits around the
Okay.
entire Heskett site. And then there is a gate there that will be accessible for fire and police if needed.
Okay.
So they'll have a combination code for that. We'll share that. TAD will have it. And then, but what that does, it's going to be permanently closed during construction 99% of the time.
Okay. that was my question, because I know those resource rooms are there. There's the, severely disabled, but then also, your higher functioning is, and they tend to go out those doors and catch their bus right there. So that's why I was
Yeah,
kind of wondering.
the assistant, I was gonna say, the assistant principal today, we talked through that and made sure that where the kids were gonna get dropped off from their bus, walk up towards the main entrance. There's a sidewalk along the building heading
Yeah.
north, and they'll go in the same door that they've used to use.
Okay.
And then they're,
Just know some
No, I
students, you
know.
know, are very routine, and especially when you're dealing with our special population, our inclusive population. So I just want to make sure that, you know, we're awesome in equity, you know, making sure that it's communicated. And then as that is, as communication, Dr. Johnson, then, when would that be communicated with parents? Because previously, parents drove around the back to pick up students in the afternoon. So how is the parent pickup and drop off gonna work to, how far in advance is that gonna be communicated to parents?
Well, because they just met today.
Oh.
So, principals got back Monday, and they met today to kind of go through all the logistics. So my communication to, all the parents, to all the principals yesterday was that by tomorrow, there needed to be a communication out about, the book bags, because we are supplying clear book bags, and supplies. I also want to thank GPD and Panzica, because you reached out, actually with the thoughts and ideas of actually donating school supplies. So I do want to publicly thank you for that, Chris. So yeah, so they should be seeing a letter today, and text messages, phone calls, tomorrow, Monday. It's going to be kind of ongoing, because, you know, not everybody might get it in one form of communication, so we're just going to try to make sure it's in multiple forms of communication and just ongoing.
Thank you.
I think the good part is that we do have open house on the 20th, so we can have those conversations there, but also they typically do a slow roll, as you know, by Alpha. So we'll be able to walk individuals through the other conversation that I've had with our students that have been identified, as you talked about, is that change is difficult. So maybe, reaching out, if the case managers or, the supervisor could reach out to parents, and then, if they want to come in and kind of walk through things, I think that's a benefit as well.
Thank you.
I'll keep it short. Yeah, no problem. I'll keep it short and sweet on the high school. We have been rolling up our sleeves and diving into site planning and design for the new high school. As you know, the high school is going to be in the place of the Board of Education that we're in now and the North House at the Bedford High School existing building. The 6-8 construction will be occurring throughout the process of building the high school. And so it's just an exciting time to start to think about the future of Bedford High School. Right now, you're kind of seeing where that building block is located. We're thinking about multiple entry points. So we know that the Career Tech is going to be coming back to Bedford, or has come back to Bedford. And so planning for that for the new building is really exciting. The Star in the northwest corner, we're thinking that kind of being a public-facing program like cosmetology. We're kind of thinking about, can the public interact with some of the programmatic pieces of the school in an exciting way, and should that be showcased along Northfield Road? The Star in the middle on the bottom left would be the main entrance to the school, so kind of facing Northfield Road as you approach from the south. The athletics, we're thinking about being on the east side of the building near the existing football field and athletics, so thinking gym, auxiliary gym, and then the community-facing piece like the auditorium. So we're going to plan for a 650-seat auditorium within this. That was a part of the LFI in your original bond. What this does too is it allows us to work off of the 6-8 site, so we know where those roads are going to be, where the curb cuts are. We've kind of worked that, and now we're stitching together the design of the high school to work with that. So how bus circulates around the 6-8 will interact with how the buses circulate for the high school along Bonnie View, and then south between the high school and the stadium. and then exit onto Berwyn on the south side. So again, keeping traffic completely separated from vehicular and bus traffic is really important, and then the parking in the middle for staff, students, administration, and visitors, with a really long procession of opportunity for drop-off for those athletic, for those community events. And then we were talking today about how nice that opportunity is with that star to the right. Right now, to get to the stadium for a football game, you kind of have to meander behind the building, and parking is really disjointed. This, without the high school in the way, is going to really offer a quick access with accessibility to the athletics. And so it kind of worked out that way, but it is a nice thing to see on paper now. And then bus drop-off again on the east side is that star to the upper right, with a separate parking lot for music and, which would be next to the auditorium and any of that back-of-house staff. So the plan is laid out kind of as we're seeing it. The meetings with teachers and administration will pick back up now that they're back from summer break. Those will start in September and August and September as they're getting back in school. The North House, so big things to look forward to. The North House and BOE are going to be planned for demolition in early 2026, and that will make way for the construction to really pick up in late spring, early summer of 2026. So there's going to be a lot of construction happening over the next couple years, which is part of the plan and really exciting part of Bedford. Construction of the new high school will begin, as I mentioned, late spring, early summer, and that'll be complete in fall 2028 for that academic school year. And then after the move from the existing high school to the new, we'll begin we're calling it the late site. So there's like early work, the bulk of the work, and then a late site work, which will demolish the rest of the high school, build the parking lot, and the rest of the campus for the high school. And that will all be wrapped up. It'll start in fall 2028 and wrap up spring, summer of 29. Any questions about the high school?
Where's the gym gonna be located?
Yeah. You want me to ban?
Yes, please.
Right now, and this is still, a sketch on paper. We're still working through the design. The idea is that the entry kind of faces this way. And we kind of thought the building in two halves. We're kind of thinking that the athletics and community spaces would be on the right, near the football locker rooms, weight room could be on the right-hand side near all the athletics. The gym wants to be next to that, and so from a public perspective, you want to hit those public-facing spaces nearest the entry after security through the vestibule, that gathering space potentially inside. The auditorium and music spaces would be in this area. So basically come into the building, administration, and then you have those adjacent public spaces on the right. The rest of this would be, student dining, kitchen, academics all the way through here, and then upstairs there'd be a second floor that has the rest of the academics.
That was my next question. It is a two-story building.
And I have a question while you're over there. The space that's now currently the south area,
Here.
yes, what's the plan for that? Is that just gonna be green space
Yeah.
or?
So the outfield of the field is right here. We're kind of drawing a line in the sand that there's opportunities for part of our project grass. Opportunities for the future could be practice fields, it could be anything you guys kind of consider, but we're going to take down the school, make sure it's drained properly so that it doesn't, create a pond. It's going to be crowned appropriately so that it drains off. Yeah, I mean, there's tunnels under that high school, so we're planning to backfill those. I mean, I've been in them. Yeah, so that's the plan for, the rest of that campus. There is, you have a pretty big parcel here.
Yeah.
I don't know how those conversations are gonna go in the future, but you have opportunities here for practice fields, parcel it off, there's things to think about.
Thank you. I think we're all excited about the changes that are coming and seeing progress, so thank you so much. Did anybody else have questions or comments? Hearing none, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
And again, thank you for the little shovel with our names on it. This is so cute. I love it. All right, so we are now going to move on to 4.04, which is our one plan goal, presented by our Executive Director of Academic Achievement, Dr. Kenya Harrington. Woo.
Good evening, board. Thank you again.
Dante said 10 minutes.
I'm always 10 minutes. I'm always 10 minutes. On behalf of the Office of Academic Achievement, we always appreciate the opportunity to share information with you. This evening, again, I'll be sharing updates on our implementation workbook and federal programs. When I speak to the information about the implementation workbook, it's really our district goals. We've concluded our 3-year cycle as it relates to our district goals and our 3-year plan. If you recall in the past, we've always explained the process. So if I go back to that, we start with the One Needs Assessment, which comes from ODEW, where there are questions that are provided to the district and buildings, not just around curriculum, but all aspects of the school. Through the leadership of Mrs. Rakowski, she meets with central office and each principal building leadership to really address those questions and come to answers. From there, some key priorities are identified by ODEW in conjunction with our data findings for us to understand where our needs are and for us to do a root cause analysis. After we do our root cause analysis, we start to figure out, okay, where do we need to land with our goals? So I wanted to first share where our new goals are. In the past, we had 4. We now have 2. So I'll start with goal number 1. By 2028, BCSD will increase our report card component ratings for achievement, early literacy gap closing, and graduation by improving student achievement for ELA, elementary, and math, as evidenced by student performance on the OST and District iReady reading and mathematics assessment. That ELA is also secondary. Goal 2, by June 2028, BCSD will increase our report card component ratings for attendance in college, career, workforce, and military readiness. These areas of growth will be evidenced by increased student enrollment in CTE pathways, attendance by 6%, 88.94% as of 3/25. That's what we had identified at all grade levels, and improving student-to-teacher relationships and student-to-student relationships. This will be measured through enrollment, attendance data, student CTE performance through assessments, projects, internships, externships, and through SEL curriculum and surveys. So those are our 2 new goals. What I wanted to do is make sure I also show the goals as they are worked through by the buildings in the district. So as you see, same goals, but a little more information. I know it may be a little small for you to read. I apologize for that. But through this, what we tried to do through our office was really look at what our performance was in the previous years, and then using an 80% threshold, calculate where we needed to be as a district. Once we did that, we worked with the buildings for them to be able to identify what they need to do, because every building might have been different. So, through all of that work, oh, that's a little better, it's a little bigger. Not like last time, I apologize. I always like to give commendations to Dr. Johnson, because Bedford City School District was one of the districts that piloted Ed Steps. It wasn't considered a pilot district, but they were one of the ones who had to go through the process before everybody else. That means they were dealing with some of the barriers and mishaps as they were also being assessed by the state. What Dr. Johnson was able to do was go into the Ed Steps platform, pull that information, put it into a spreadsheet, name it the implementation workbook, and then ensure that everybody understood what they needed to be doing. Over the past 4 years, what we continue to do is streamline the process. How can we make things easier for our teachers and building leadership so they're not overwhelmed or engaged in a mundane process, I guess you could say. So as you see, the goal is in the green, goal 1, what I read, but we're also trying to understand what I consider the cause and effect data. So the cause data being the adult measure, affect the student measure. So what are the teachers, staff doing to affect the performance of our students academically, social, emotionally? So through this process, you can see the implementation workbook, very similar to what you saw in the past. You can see the year that we're in over here with 1. Strategies would be the next, and then the action steps. The one thing we tried to do to make things a little simpler or easier on individuals is create drop-down boxes. So that highlighted area where it says Title II, those are drop-down boxes where individuals can identify the funding source. Therefore, they can go right to it and understand, oh, you know what, that's Title I, that's being taken care of by Dr. Harrington's office, or Title II, whatever it may be. Also, you see the active participants. You see who that lead individual might be, the progress monitoring dates, the importance of understanding where we are when we're trying to reach that goal and how far we've come. So are we on task, off task? So again, drop down. If we're green, we've succeeded, or we're in process. Status, is it yellow? Is it red? Making sure that we're keeping notes. What is our evidence? These would be links to certain evidence, but then also how do we analyze that evidence? So it's not just good enough to have, but analyze so we can understand who was impacted, what happened, how, and all of those different things. So again, what we tried to do as a department is start that process and then take our district implementation workbook and go through and create the workbooks for the buildings and carry over the things that would be done at their buildings from the district level, but then model for them what they needed to do or add to their 3-year plans. And this link is just a folder in which we all utilize, where individuals can go in and see everybody's implementation workbook. They don't have editing access to everybody's, but they have the ability to view, because the one thing I try to stress, we're one district. So if something is happening at one building, how can we replicate that, sustain that, versus doing things that are different? Because if it's working over here, we should be doing it over here, because they're all our students. So before I go on to the next part, are there any questions with our new goals, implementation workbook, anything with that process?
I don't have a question, but I appreciate you saying, making sure that if something's working in one place, you're making sure they're able to see it, and they're able to utilize it somewhere else, and they actually have access to that. So I appreciate that.
I had a question for you. Could you open up the workbook again that you had? Okay, right. If you scroll to the right.
Oops.
Okay, then scroll up. All right, that column that you have where you're showing what's on track, off track. Are you going to, I guess, implement some type of target goals for the staff to kind of see if they're meeting target as they're going? Because we're trying to hit a certain percentage.
Yeah, so those things are usually included in whatever that strategy or SMART goal is. So your SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, or relevant, and timely. So those things are usually captured in there as well. As this is just the district one as a reference, frame of reference, I don't have that in front of you, but those are done at the building level as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we could see that progress is actually
Yeah.
going up.
And
A lot of time.
so when we get to this last part with the evidence and then that analysis, so again, who it impacted, what happened, how did it happen, why did it happen, when did it happen, what is next? So when you get to that analysis part, if it's something that happened and it was sustainable, okay, great, we're going to continue that. But if it didn't happen, where was the misstep at? And what do we need to do next? What new step do we need to put in place to make sure we can continue with the work? Not saying that anything was bad or negative. Sometimes data comes in different than what we anticipated. Sometimes individuals do things differently and we have to readjust.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. So moving on to the second part of the updates. Federal programs, Title I. There's been a lot of, debate, a lot of changes that have happened from the federal level down to the state level all the way to us. Just to go back, federal programs is used to administer educational programs, projects, and services funded by the federal government. We talk about the Title I program being used to provide all children significant opportunities to receive fair, equitable, and high-quality education and to close educational achievement gaps. When we talk about the Title program or federal programs, the consolidated funding sources that affect and help our district are Title 1A, which is improving basic programs. Title 1D, neglect. We have neglect in our district because we have safely homes. Other districts have Title 1D, juvenile, because they may have a facility. Title II, supporting effective instruction. Title III, English language acquisition and language. And then Title IV, student support and academic enrichment. So going back to Ed Steps, because everything is connected, Jeremy Marks from ODEW said a few years back he always wanted to ensure that there was a system created that could allow districts to have their one plan and their budgeting all working together seamlessly. So his goal over the years was to create Ed Steps and have that happen. He wanted to break down the silos and make sure the funding went to the plans appropriately. I wanted to kind of provide for you here, and I know it may be a little difficult to see, but when we go into Ed Steps, this is what we actually see. The one needs assessment, what I referenced earlier, our one plan, which is the district's 3-year plan, and then there are drop-down boxes for each building's 3-year plan as well, and then the one funding the one fund application, and then also grant life cycles. So essentially what we would be doing for the federal program funding side is clicking that app for one funding application, and we will be able to see this. This gives all of those specific funding sources, including the Perkins Fund for CTE. And the reason I wanted to show you this, there have been a lot of glitches and issues with Ed Steps. So as we continue to work through the Title I allocation as it came in, there were certain things that we weren't able to do. So as we reached out to our consultants at ODEW, they just said, bear with us, we're going to make some changes, we're going to make some adjustments. At that time, the federal government said they were not releasing Title II, Title III, and Title IV, so we were just in limbo trying to understand what we were supposed to do. Then we got word on the week of July 28th, they were going to release the funds for Title 1C. That does not apply to us, but then Title II, Title III, and Title IV. That middle paragraph just talks about we must adhere to what the grants are to be used for and not deviate from that. As those things came in, there continued to be issues with Ed Steps. So we weren't able to complete the applications. Even when we got certain ones done, they weren't registering on ODEW site, and they understood that, so they gave us some leniency. So what that allowed us to do, they told us we were allowed to still spend the funds longer than we usually were. So that means we could do our POs all the way up to September 30th. Usually we had to do a summer extension for that to happen. I'm going to be completely honest, we had already did our summer extension because Mrs. Willis was already where we needed to be. But that means we can spend our funds up until December 31st, which has not been the case in the past. And then we can also do budget revisions until August, late August, the end of August, which has not been the case in the past. So that's beneficial because that gives us time to do what we need to do as the funds have come in later. Now, through all of that, as I finished this presentation for you, another change happened. So I went back and added that. And what we found was they told us not to worry about Ed Steps. We're going to continue using the CCIP, which was our previous funding source. Through that, there were certain things that would remain in Ed Steps or the One Fund application. That was the CLSD grant or the Comprehensive Literacy State Development Grant, which we also have. And then again, Carl D. Perkins Career Tech grants. We do not have the school bus safety grant at this time, but we're working towards that. Then everything else is going back to the CCIP. So that means all the information that we put into Ed Steps, we'll pull that back out, we'll put it back into the CCIP and go through the process that we've been accustomed to for all these years. And then hopefully everything gets approved and we can move forward with our work. So wanted to share all of those updates, give you any time for questions that you may have. I know that was a lot and I apologize, but a lot of changes continue to happen. Working with the Treasurer's Office, they've been wonderful trying to get that information and be an ally and understanding what we need to do differently. So I appreciate Dante and Taylor as well.
I appreciate
appreciate all the information. Never apologize for providing this because it's much needed. And if you don't provide it, we don't know it. So, definitely, I'm unfortunately having to go back and forth. It's very frustrating, I'm sure. But I appreciate you providing this information, and sheesh, hopefully nothing else changes.
Yeah.
But the way the world is going, we never know.
I too appreciate your sharing all of this, which is a lot, and it's a lot to grasp, and if someone is out there, it's really, really hard for them to see and to understand a lot of time what's going on. And one thing I get from this, it's very hard to plan. It is very hard for our district to plan for our curriculum, to plan for our staffing because of things like this. So I just hope everyone understand that, and we are working very hard to make sure that we provide the best service for our children here at in the Bedford City School District. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Wonderful job, wonderful job. It is a lot, and every day when I have the time now to watch the news, is something different happening. I don't know how in the world we're managing this well and running this school district in any school district. But we do have some good people, and I know we're working very hard, everyone is, and I just hope everyone understands this before they become so critical of what's happening within our district, because it is about funding. It is, and our funding is being impacted in so many different ways, and especially for our most vulnerable population. And I think I need people to hear that, and I need people to hear how hard we are working to deal with these continuous changes that are happening overnight. And you got to go back and just, I mean, you're going back to where you were, and you worked all summer trying to get it where they wanted it, and now it's changed again. So I appreciate everything, your hard work, your dedication to our children, your commitment to providing the best for our students here in the district. And thank you so much, and I know it's so much more that we need to hear, and I'm so glad you did tonight to bring us up to date on all the changes that are happening. So thank you.
Also want to commend you and your department on just being flexible to be able to take this backward step to just bring everything, you have to bring everything back. Yeah, I know it can be very frustrating to deal with that, so just want to thank you, and also our treasurer department team as well. As Ms. Williamson stated, things change overnight constantly. With this administration, things are just constantly changing in the financial world as well. So just thank you for what you're doing, and you definitely have our support.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Dr. Harrington. And I also just thank you, board, for your patience, as well as we go through all of this. But I think you can see Dr. Harrington's depth of knowledge in this area. He's cleaned up a lot of our funding sources, and I think one of the things that he's worked hard on also is building capacity. So when he talks about Mary Catherine doing some work, and Katrina, but as well as the building principals and the time and effort that you put in and going out and meeting with them, the principals, and showing them what all of this means, Title I, II, and like how to do their budgets, and getting them to do their implementation workbook, and holding them accountable in terms of making sure that everything that they spend money on aligns to student achievement. So I just publicly want to thank him as well.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. 4.05 is Vision to Learn. So we're going to have a presentation by Faith Gordon, our coordinator of our SEL program. Come on in. I think they said you only get 2 minutes.
That's all I need.
Yeah, 'cause I think it's just more of you kind of sharing
Yes, I'm just
an
gonna share a little
opportunity
bit.
for us. So you have the handouts right here.
Yes,
Thank you, Board, for this opportunity to share an exciting program that our K-5 students will have the opportunity to participate in this school year, and it is Vision to Learn. Vision to Learn is a mobile clinic that brings the eye care eye care service and glasses to our students at their schools. And although they were founded like in Los Angeles 2012, they have been in Ohio since 2021, where they have provided more than 50,000 vision screenings, 13,000 eye exams, and 10,000 glasses. And how this process will work is Vision to Learn examiners will work with our nurses. They have to do these screenings every year anyway. So they will work with our nurses. Students who qualify for the exam after their screening, who needs glasses, more of an exam, they will receive the opt-out letter for their parents. We're hoping none come back because this is a free service for our students. The van will return, do their exam with medical team. They would do their exam, and students will have an opportunity to, at that time, pick out frames, as they say, of over 100 frames, options, and that fits their personality and their style. So they will have that opportunity. Within 2 to 4 weeks, the van will return with the glasses to make sure that they properly fit their faces. And along with this, if glasses are broken or lost, the social workers will probably take on to email the company, and they replace the glasses free of charge. None of this costs the district or families anything. No matter what their income is, all students will qualify.
That's fantastic.
My 2 minutes.
Where was this at when my child was in school? Because he broke glasses every other week. No. Go ahead with your question.
You said it's only for elementary?
Well, we're doing K through 5 this year. This is our first year working with the organization, and so if I'm sure she is so nice and open. If I get some requests from Heskett or the high school, I'm sure that she will extend the services because she like whatever you guys need. But right now, as I walk through, especially 3-5, the nurses were talking to me about students who need glasses. Then one of the counselors from K2, pre-K2 reached out and said, hey, you know, we had some kids we took before MTSS and they needed glasses. And so we included them as well in the contract.
Thank you. Because I think one of the things that you stated, Faith, and I appreciate all the work that you've done to establish relationships with our partners, because they're emailing us all summer saying, I got this Bedford, how can I help? But Faith talked about the conversations that our nurses, counselors, social workers, and so forth are having with our students. And a lot of times we're talking about over-identification of our minority students. And I think you share with us, they stated, well, we need to first figure out, is this a vision problem?
Yes.
So I appreciate you and your team and your department having those collaborative conversations as well, and saying, let's look at every aspect.
And even helping with those headaches or students who avoid reading because, you know, they're having a difficulty.
Behaviors, you know what I mean? So let's address see what the issue is first.
Definitely.
Yes.
I appreciate this for sure.
Yes.
Because that's actually how my son was found, that he had a disorder called amblyopia. And it was because in kindergarten he couldn't put the card in the calendar slot. And so the teacher noticing that helped, and there was a similar program at that time that I was able to get glasses and whatnot through. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, I'm familiar with a program like this, and how fantastic it is, and for early identification at the younger ages. But I was just asking if it was open in the event that one of the older children never got identified, but maybe are struggling and, you know, do avoid from reading in the classroom or having some concern. So I appreciate this. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
Awesome, Faith, awesome.
Thank you. I do have a question, and I may be like for like our students who, when they're working on their computer and stuff, are they gonna have like the blue film on there to help with the
blue light?
Yeah, to the blue filter on their glasses to
On
help
their
with that computer?
glasses?
Yeah, to help with that. Like, I don't know if that's something that's added or if it's just gonna be the basic, lenses. I just was curious if that's something that, because our students do work on computers, if that would be something they're able to provide.
Okay, I would definitely look into that and let you know.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you again for everybody, the hard work. I know as we are beginning our school year, everybody is working hard vigilantly, and the things that we're able to bring to our students, this year is amazing, and I'm really excited about all of this. All right, so 5.01 is our consent agenda. And my computer just froze. Oh, thank you. Actually, can I have a, motion? Uh-oh. Oh, it's in there. Can I have a motion to approve our consent agenda as presented?
Second.
It's been motioned by, Mrs. Turner Birch and second by, Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Gonna go ahead and have Dr. Johnson go ahead, and do you have anything specific you wanna mention?
I don't think so in the consent agenda, but just think,
If there was anything
Dr.
specific.
Threed, I mean, she's been kind of moving and shaking in with these hires. I just appreciate it, and, you know, you and your department, and Chelsea, just assisting on the classified side, as well as Paul, just getting people onboarded, because, I mean, we're getting them, and I think we only have a couple of certified vacancies, which is pretty awesome. I think we have one late resignation, but otherwise we had 2 openings. 3 with the district nurse. So if you know of a nurse, you need a district nurse.
Gotcha. Any questions or comments from our board? Hearing none, let's go ahead and do roll call.
Mrs. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes, passes 5-0. Board, thank you so much. Now we are on to superintendent's report. I'm going to pass it back over to Dr. Johnson.
Good evening once again. This evening I have 6 recommendations coming before you. The first one is under 6.01. I ask of your approval to amend the transition days. Actually, Dr. Schneider started with us a little bit sooner. He went to his district and, you know, saw the work that we were doing and asked if he could start sooner. So now, he didn't do just the 5 days, he actually did 10, because he resigned from his district a little bit earlier. Under the 6.02, I ask of your approval of the following agreement. I'm sorry, my computer's moving. So under 6.03, we ask of your approval of the following service agreement with the EFC of Northeast Ohio. And again, we act as a fiscal agent for some of our private schools, so that is what this is. It's not something that we're supplying, but Cleveland Central Catholic is getting tutors, so the finances are coming through our district. Under 6.04, you had a wonderful presentation here with ABI. Also, we need the approval to sell buses. I can't tell you how awesome Steph has been. She's been working top, bottom, doing inventory, and we have extra buses. And she's been working with her consortium, and there are other districts that need them or whatever may have. And so that is pretty awesome to be able to bring revenue back to the district. As well as your approval of the movers, because as GPD talked about, we have to leave this property in order for the new high school to be built. So we closed this week on the new board office. Again, I thank your work, because I would like to publicly say that you saved over half the cost it would have occurred in terms of utilizing that bond money to get this building. So it would have been a little bit over $5 million, I think, Tad, to build, and a building that you purchase is little over 2 2.5. 2.5. So that goes kudos to you guys. Your bus routes for 25, 26. And then we have some payment in lieu. That is because maybe we can't get a route completed by our own bus drivers. So then by law, we have to provide an opportunity for the parents to accept the payment in lieu, meaning they will provide their own transportation, and then there's a stipend that they get.
Thank you so much. May I have let me ask, do we want to do this as a whole, or do we want to take these separate?
We can take it as a whole, but I had a question.
Yes, sir.
The one about the resolution regarding the sale of the buses.
Uh-huh.
Were those buses, were they working buses still, or just like old buses that really that needed a lot of work to be done to them? Just curious.
Yeah, she's got a couple of different batches. I know I don't want to point to you, Carl, yet, because I don't know if did you have that conversation with Steph yet?
These buses, yes.
You want to come to the mic? I'm sorry. You're like first board meeting, and I'm like already getting questions.
So these buses were operable in that they have passed state inspection every year, but they have not been utilized for routes. So it was really what we deemed inefficient because the mechanics are maintaining them, they're ready to go, but we just don't need to use them. So this is 11 that we've identified. That's certainly, we're well within our comfort range at 11, and I think that as we continue to go through and look at the rest of the fleet of the district, there may be a few trucks, and perhaps a few more buses in the coming years, but it's just, we didn't see the value in continuing to maintain them for the inspections, which we have to do if we continue to possess them. So.
Okay, I was questioning because there was 11 buses sold for $32,000,
Yes.
which basically is like $2,900 per bus. So I was thinking, is that due to it being a bus that needed work to be done or not?
So they are our oldest buses, and they have the most miles. I believe, off the top of my head, it's a rough estimate of what I recall, late 90s, early 2000s, which is really pretty old.
Over 20 years old.
Yeah, usually when you hit 10 or 12 years, and Mr. Ellsworth would also, I think, probably confirm, that's when you really start to feel more uncomfortable that you would prefer to move on to a newer bus. So they don't need work. They passed inspection, but they're certainly at the bottom tier of the ones that we own, which was more than we need.
Okay, just curious.
And that rate, it doesn't look like a big number
Yeah.
when you think of what a large vehicle it is and how much it takes to operate it. But unfortunately, that's the going rate. I've been in other situations where we've auctioned the buses off, and we end up right at roughly that number, 2,500 to 3,000 or thereabouts. That's pretty much it.
Okay, I just thought it was low because it's a bus. I just figured.
I agree. When I first heard that number for kind of the going rate of buses a few years ago, I was kind of shocked because you think of a used vehicle for $3,000, and it's probably not going to be a bus that's
Right.
that long.
Do you use a Blue Book price or something for that? I'm just curious. How do you decide that?
That's a good question. I've never looked it up on Blue Book, on Kelly Blue Book. That's an interesting question. But that's kind of a standard 3,000.
Oh, do you know that?
Well,
Mike, can you come up to the mic for us, Tad, so the public can hear you also? Thank you.
So Dr. Schneider's absolutely right. That is the going rate. The cost of operating a school bus actually makes it very prohibitive for most people to own a school bus. We're going to save more on the insurance than we're getting in the price. I mean, this is a smart transaction. We've been talking about doing it for a while, and I'm glad between Steph and Dr. Schneider they're getting it over the line here, because it really is important. And they do have, I think they can reduce more, but they're being cautious, make sure they have enough spares in case there's breakdowns and things like that, and that they have enough for field trips and those kind of things. So I think it's a great thing, and I've never seen anyone get more than $3,500 for a school bus when they sell them. That's really on the high end, typically $2,500, $3,000 at the most.
Yeah, I think one of the first things is, when the new leaders have come in, in each of their departments, they've done some assessments. You're really, whether it's technology or it's transportation, you're supposed to have a replacement plan. And so I think some things maybe they had not always been done, so that's why I'm very appreciative of the work that's now being done. I think by us having buses sitting there, it's kind of like anything that just kind of sits there and doesn't run, and you're just kind of pouring money into it. So as Tad stated, one of the conversations, we said, why are we paying insurance on things that we're not utilizing and you still have to maintain it? But in addition to that, Steph talked about the revenue that's coming back and our need to purchase vans, which is also more costly on some of our smaller routes, our midday routes. So even if we need to take some of our smaller teams to some places, think about how much you're saving on fuel. In addition to that, it's very difficult to find bus drivers. To operate a van, to my understanding, you don't have to have the same qualifications, so it makes it easier for us to be able to find individuals to utilize, and so therefore we can transport our children.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions before we?
I had a question on some of the routes. And this could be maybe where there might be more students being picked up at one space, but a couple of them may only have like 6 stops, 7 stops, or one of them, this bus 24 only has 4 stops. Is this meaning that there are more children being picked up in that space? Because I know it's up to like 20-some students can sit on a bus.
So I think that's another thing that goes to Stephanie's credit. I feel like we can ask her probably to come and talk a little bit more about the bus, remember the Bus Right software? And that was one of the goals, was for it to be utilized so it could better identify the routes, which is also gonna save us on cost. But yeah, she said she had identified some buses that had minimal kids on it, which also was a waste. So you might see fewer routes, yes, but have more kids on it. But I feel like we can also let her know, Dr. K, and so therefore, you know, whether you want her to come or if you want her to, in his Friday notes, he can follow up and communicate that. Just let us know how you want us to give you the more.
Yeah, I just want some clarity, because even bus 62 only has 2 stops, so.
Well, a lot of it is, if a lot of it, what, being a bus driver, a lot of it is, if you have 9 stops and you pick up 2 kids here, 1 kid here, what they probably did was pull them together.
Yep.
I had 1 stop where I picked up 15 kids at 1 stop. But then I went 7 blocks up and I picked up 1 kid. So what they did was they put them in the middle and I picked them all up. So what's probably going on is they're probably putting more kids at stops. It's not that 1 bus is gonna pick up 2 kids here and then go here and pick. They're gonna communicate and pick up more kids at 1 stop, which is save a lot of money and a lot of time. And it also save from, they know what time to be there to save from having to go back.
Right.
Because you don't realize how often somebody will call in and say, my kid missed the bus. Well, if your kid was at the stop on time, you wouldn't have that problem. So then they would send somebody back. You know how much it costs to send 1 bus back to pick up 1 or 2 kids? It's a lot. So what they're probably doing is I mean, you can have Steph come in, but what they're probably doing is they're pulling the kids at more kids at 1 stop. Because like on Pettibone, they got 1 stop at that one end and 1 stop at the other end. So the kids have a choice, from the middle, go to my end, from the other end, go to your end. But they can't all go to the same end because it's a long street. So that's what they're probably doing, is pulling the kids together to eliminate stopping here and stopping there. So
Would these change if there's students that may have not enrolled yet and will be required to need a bus? Would these routes end up changing?
because they'll probably have.
Yeah, I don't know if the route will change. It just depends on where they are.
Gotcha.
Again, and it also depends on if it's a new route, or, because even somebody could move in and they could be going to a charter school. You know, so in that situation, it's not necessarily that the route is gonna change, or we're gonna add a route, but we'd be talking about a payment in lieu kid. So it just kind of depends on the,
I'm just referring to students that may not have enrolled in our district yet. Like,
Yeah.
they're not just moving, but also are gonna come into our
Right.
buildings.
Right, I think it depends on the
They would go to the nearest
scenario.
bus stop.
Yeah.
Right, they would go to their nearest bus stop.
Alrighty. Any other questions? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please? Or, I'm sorry, we're gonna take this as a whole, correct? Is everyone, can I get a
Yes.
consensus from everyone?
Yes.
Perfect.
Can I have a motion to approve, agenda item 6.01, administrative personnel, 6.02, certificated personnel, 6.03, service contracts by the Executive Director of Academic Achievement, 6.04, service contracts presented by the Executive Director of Operations, 6.05, our 2025-2026 bus route, and 6.06, payment in lieu.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Oh, second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and seconded by Mr. Akins that we accept the superintendent's report, 6.01, 6.02, 6.03, 6.04, 6.05, and 6. Roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Sustain.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Passes 4-1. Thank you, board. I know we have someone to introduce. I want to say thank you to Dr. Schneider for coming in and literally running. I've seen the smoke in the city running behind you. I truly appreciate, reading the Friday notes. You've done a lot in your short period of time already, and we're happy to have you here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, board, for your approval of the 6 items. In addition to that, in our Friday notes, over the past, this past week was the first Friday note, so we're back kind of in the loop of that. There's some exciting things happening over the next couple of weeks. Just a reminder, convocation is coming up on the 18th. It's a little bit different this year. There's a comedian the first day. And the second day are awards. So, and you'll be introduced the second day, but you're more than welcome to come that first day. And she's a former teacher, so hopefully you will enjoy that. But also in the weekly notes, we talked about the need for more marketing of our district, our brand, and so forth. So we were very, very fortunate to find a candidate. So I will ask Jamar to come forward, and if you could introduce yourself. So he is our marketing and communication specialist that we will be working with to consult to best assist us to brand Bedford City School District.
I just want to, I'm shaking.
Hello. Good, how are you? Oh, thank you. There's still something.
I see you again. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'll be brief, but I'm pleased to be here, pleased to be speaking before the board. Thank you for your time. I will be the marketing and communication specialist for the district. I look forward to, well, I'm in the process now of really immersing myself in all there is to learn, really take in what's already been laid as a foundation, an impressive foundation, I would say. Just want to improve upon the design, to disseminate messaging throughout the district, and disseminate messaging and tell a story to the general public. I really feel as though what I've been able to gauge is an unbridled passion for what you guys do and who we're doing it for. So I want to definitely harness that so that I'm able to effectively let the public that engages with this community know what's happening here, so that we can effectively reach out and message, and I can represent this district in all media capacities, but also effectively pass through information throughout the district itself. So I'm just really looking forward to it. I've been observing, and I'm working to canvas and get acclimated, and then go from there. But I have a 90-day plan, and I'm looking forward to executing it. So thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your background and?
Yeah. So I have a background in marketing, branding, and communications. I founded and oversee as the creative director marketing firm based out of Shaker Heights, Launch Arts Media. I also have a background in education. I have a background in creative writing. I have a background in visual art. All of those are an amalgamation for effective marketing. So I've worked to kind of pair those talents along with videography, filmmaking, photography. I don't know where I found the time in my 38 years, but I've been able to do so, where it's really a hybrid style of storytelling and marketing, messaging, communication that I bring to everything that I do.
Bedford resident.
Bedford, yeah. I'm just so innate with that, but I am a Bedford resident. I've been a Bedford resident for going on 10 years now, and I'm a proud Bedford resident. And I'm a father of two. I'm a father of three, actually. My nephew, who I was guardian to from the age of 15 until he, came of age in adulthood, due to the passing of my sister. He's actually a Bedford graduate, and I transferred him from where he was to Bedford schools so he could, have a better quality education than what he was getting. So I'm already a parent of a Bedford graduate in that regard, and then I'm a father of two of my own. My daughter's 10 years old, and my son is 5.5, and they currently go to a Catholic school. But I mean, I'm part of the team now, so you gotta weigh your options. So
Gotta be a Bearcat.
there we go. So yeah, no, I'm very, very proud and excited. My biggest takeaway is the team sensibility here, the cohesiveness, the smiles on faces for what's being done, the energy, which then computes to synergy because everyone is doing their part, and I really want to definitely come in and more than do my part and exceed expectations.
We're excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll be back in 90 days to let us know how your goals are going.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you.
Alrighty. Moving on, we are into our new business, old business. 8.01 is our treasurer's treasurer's report. Thank you. My eyes is. Treasurer's report 7.01, our gifts and donations. We do not want to forget about those.
Good evening, Board President, board members. Thank you for having me in Taylor's absence. We just have two gifts here. One from the Greater Cleveland Football Coaches Association, $200 to the athletic department, and Church of Christ at Center Road, approximately $500 worth of 55 clear book bags with school supplies in them.
That is great. We're excited about that.
And that's only one of three local churches, in addition to Panzica, that have reached out to us about school supplies. They've seen everything on the news and everything with federal funding and budget, so it's been really nice.
Nice. So happy to hear that. All right, can I have a motion for the approval of the donations and gifts?
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Turner Birch and seconded by Mr. Akins that we approve the following donations. Roll call, please.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 4-0. Thank you, board. Now on to old business, new business. 8.01 is our treasurer's contract. And then 8.02 is our amendment to Administrative Leadership Handbook. 8.01, can I have a motion of the approval of resolution correcting dates of employment for the treasurer's contract?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Turner Birch and second by Mrs. Boynton that we approve the resolution correcting dates of employment. Do we have any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 4-0. Thank you, board. We also have the approval of the amendment to pay scale for the Executive Director of Facility Improvements and Special Projects, which was originally board approved on July 10th, 2025. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Turner Birch and second by Mrs. Boynton that we approve the pay scale for Executive Director. Do we have any questions? Hearing none, roll call. Or do you have a?
I just want to clarify that, we never added this position in there, and again, over 75% is paid out of the bond, because of the work that he's doing for the bond, and then he's also, handling our wellness committee, but we needed to make sure we added that position in there.
Thank you. Roll call. Thank you for that explanation.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes. Passes 4-0. Thank you, board. Is there anything else that we want to? Yes.
I have a couple announcements. One, it is August. Welcome back, Bearcats. Couple of things, and it really warmed to my heart that Faith came and talked about Vision to Learn, because August is also National Eye Exam Month and National Immunization Month. So with us returning back to school, making sure you have those appointments, and if you don't have those appointments set up, we have Vision to Learn that will be coming forward to assist with those, and you can also check with your local doctors. I know for physicals, we were having physicals here for a lot of the athletes. Also, it is National Golf Month. Tomorrow is the foundation's golf outing. So how awesome, right? It is National Golf Month. If you can support the foundation tomorrow morning, I believe that starts at 8:30. Am I correct? Somebody? 8:30 to 10. With that, then additionally, I wanted to bring up. I know I brought up about the teen driving missing. It's okay to miss school come September 30th. Because of something the state legislature has put in place. But there is a free teen driver training. Driving Skills for Life is offering free hands-on clinics, providing the ultimate form of training for young drivers who hold a permit or license. It will be held this weekend. The first one is August 9th from 7:30 a.m. to noon, and then August 10th from 7:30 a.m. to 12 to noon as well. It will be held at the IX Center. If you go to drivingskillsforlife.com, you should be able to bring up the event schedule to register. Right now, there are 18 spots open for the August 9th session, and there is one spot, and then there is 40 spots open for the August 10th session. So there's still some availability there for those that are interested. So I just wanted to get that information.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Nope.
Sorry. Just heads up, August 28th will be the Walton Hills, August 30th will be the Walton Hills Forum from 10 to 11 in Walton Hills. So we will be having a flyer going out soon for that, but I just wanted to at least say it in this meeting, and then we'll say it again in the next one.
Do you think, you'll let Russell know?
Yes.
If you need an update?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Just moving forward, of course, we talked about moving. In future meetings, we will be talking about where our meetings will be held. So that information will go out just so everyone is aware ahead of time. I've got a brain fart. I can't think of anything else. Is there any other announcements?
I do. I want to make one. Chantel Brown will be at the Bedford Heights Community Center on August 13th at 6 o'clock. And anyone that's interested in learning about how the big beautiful bill might be affecting the Medicaid and Medicare, you might want to come out and hear this. So that is August 13th, Bedford Heights Community Center at 6 o'clock.
Which does
Doors
have
open at 5:30.
I was just gonna say, which does have an impact on our babies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Unfortunately, yes.
And she is one of our representatives, and we have Max Miller as the other representative. So just know who your representatives are, because it's important.
Perfect. it is very chilly. Just a reminder, our next meeting will be in 2 weeks on August 21st. So please make sure that you are available and here for that one, hopefully. And that is all.
Something else? I got one more. There's a Drive to Succeed grant. The Traffic Safety Office has opened the funding for programs to prevent injuries on the roads. They focus on leadership, education, and enforcement programs. Eligible applicants through the Educational Service Centers. So you can apply at otsastategrants.intelligrants.com. And that will give you the opportunity where they can assist with funding for paying for driving programs.
Perfect. Alrighty. I think, anything else? Mrs. Turner?
It's expensive. Oh, no, that's
I'm like, just in case, because every time I say.
I rest.
All right. Good luck to all the babies that will be coming back to school. I know we'll meet again, but I'm excited to see our children back in school and walking down the street and causing all kind of commotion in the hallways and loud noise in the streets. I love to see it. Good luck to our college students that are going back to school. I'm excited for them. I know you have one that you're going to be dropping off and crying about again, so lucky mine stays home, but that's okay. But no, I just want everybody to stay safe. There's so much going on in this world right now. So everybody stay safe. Everybody have a great year, whether you're in K through 12 or higher education. All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Turner Birch and seconded by Mrs. Boynton that we adjourn. Can I have a roll? Something else you want to say?
No, I'll just turn this back on so I can say yes.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mrs. Carter,
Yes.